One of the basics concepts of management is theory X and theory Y from McGregor. Now, what this is a manager's assumptions about employees. If you're a theory X manager, your assumption about employees is they dislike work, they're lazy, they're unmotivated, no drive, and they need to be controlled, forced, threatened. They need supervision all the time because they can't be trusted. And they need incentives. So a theory X type of manager thinks of their employees as basically no good. Then on the other end of the spectrum, we have the theory Y manager. Now this here again is assumptions about the employees from a management's perspective. A theory Y manager sees employees as self-motivated, self-driven, creative. They enjoy solving problems and they enjoy work. They even seek responsibility. Work is as natural as play. So a theory Y manager thinks of employees as being good. Now, that's all good. You know, you probably had that in maybe even high school, junior college, the basics of management, theory X and theory Y. Now, ho-hum, is that fun? Is it meaningful? Well, okay, some people think other people are lazy bums. Some people think other people are good people that want to do the right thing, they want to be good. And then the story ends there. But not for HR, because this mentality, this belief in employees influences everything in the corporation, in the business. Your basic decisions are influenced by whether or not you're X or Y. If the manager thinks of the employees, generally speaking, as being their theory X, that will make the manager believe that we have to have reward programs, what I call cookies, the carrot and the sticks. You know, you hold the cupcake out in front of the employee to get them to go do something. If they don't, you beat them with a stick. We have threats that would be involved. A lot of policies and a lot of rules, because the assumption is the employee is not going to do the right thing if they do anything. All right? So that really influences how a manager views the employees and the systems that they put into place to influence the attitudes and behaviors of the employees. But if the manager is theory Y and has a sunny approach and belief about employees, and they think they're good, then that manager will be more likely to trust people to do the right thing, trust them and empower them. Give them the power. Let them decide how to fix the problems, or give them the responsibility of the department or the responsibility to do things. They trust them to get things done. And this, for the employee, equals freedom. So it's not just X and Y, la-di-da. It's X and Y is meaningful stuff. It, especially for HRM, when you look at HRM and their approach to employees. In another class, 388, we talk about employee of the month. Now, why would a manager have employee of the month? The manager thinks that the employees need to have a little cookie, have a little award program that's going to motivate them to do the right thing. Oh, look at Mary. She did the right thing. She gets employee of the month. Wouldn't you like to be employee of the month? We'll give you a cookie if you're the best one of the team. Commissions, sales commissions. As an HR person, you're gonna probably, and you have sales, deal with the situation of sales commissions. Sales commissions are the assumption that the salespeople are gonna do what? They're not gonna sell anything unless you give them cookies. So that's all theory X. What about those policy manuals that they hand out and make you sign off? I know of one company that makes you sign the bottom of every page just to say, did you read this? Sign it off. All of the policies, dress code, this code, that code, this is what's gonna happen. 3 strikes, you're out. If you're late, once, twice. All of that is based on the assumption that that people aren't going to do what they're supposed to. But the manager who's theory Y, who has faith in their leadership and has trust in people, not all people, but most of them, can go without no policies, no rules. If we have rules, they're more like guidelines that are more like value statements. The reason we don't do this is because the customer wants it. The reason we don't do this is because you'll get hurt. So this is a review for many of you, but I don't think in your Management 101 class, they took it to the level of it's not just theory X, theory Y, it's the whole mindset and how that affects how you go about managing your human resources. So, very important stuff, very important stuff. One test I give in class is, I'll ask a lady in the class, do you have a boyfriend? And, and she'd go, okay, yes, I have a boyfriend. I said, okay, does the boyfriend work? And she'd go, yeah, the boyfriend gets off at 5 o'clock. Okay, so normally the boyfriend might come over around 6. Yes, they're always coming over at 6. I said, well, okay, you've cooked dinner maybe that night and they're expected to come over at 6. They don't show up. What's the first thing that's in your mind as the girlfriend of this animal? Is it that possibly something happened to them or they're being disrespectful, or, you know, okay, it's 6:30, they're running a little bit late. Okay, now it's 7 o'clock. They're still not here. Okay, now it's 7:30, I'm gonna start making the phone call. Not answering the phone. Okay, now it's 8 o'clock. I'm gonna try one more time, you better answer or else. No answer. No. It's 9 o'clock. At this point, all of the boyfriend's possessions are moved to the backyard, doused with gasoline, and set on fire. Why? Because the person is theory X. We let that overtake us to the point, you know, didn't even occur to us they might be in a car wreck. Maybe they have a medical issue. Maybe they're at the hospital. No, we don't think the good of people, we think the bad of people. So, think about that. If somebody shows up late for work, what's your first thought? They're lazy, unmotivated, and have no drive, and now they're taking advantage of us. Or do you think, wow, they're normally here, something must have happened, I hope they're okay. That will be your theory X, whether you're theory X or theory Y, that'll be your test. So, it's not just theory X and Y, it's really important stuff. It defines your approach to employees. Something to explore. One seminar last semester, we had a businesswoman that came in and she was not using this terminology, but she was talking about it. And her statement was, I do everything I can for my employees. If they get into trouble, I give them a loan. I know they have hardship, life happens. Sometimes they need flexibility with their schedule. I understand, you know, I think the best of my people. And sometimes, she said, even though you have 20 employees and everything is, but you have that one employee that takes the loan, doesn't pay it back, starts showing up for work for late, and does this and does that and does this. Her test, she says, just because I have one person taking advantage of me and being disrespectful and just all of this, doesn't mean I have to build policies and change my approach to all of the other good people I have working for me. And that to me is the biggest challenge of it all. You're gonna approach everybody you've decided, you know what, they're adults. They're adults. I'm gonna treat them like adults. That's my approach. I'm gonna start out with that. Hopefully they'll feed off the trust and the freedom and all of that and become, and take responsibility and love it. But then you have that one person that's going to take advantage of you, and being able not to shift your approach just because of one person, that to me, that I would have so much respect for that person. Because a lot of managers don't realize that somebody takes advantage of them, they start to switch. Somebody else takes advantage of them, they start to switch. Somebody else takes advantage. Now everybody's getting a little bit negative, and we're tired of all of these rules and policies. And now the hatred is in the building, and now the manager is full-blown Theory X, and the reason is they allowed it to happen.